I think that it is really important. It's really inspirational, I say. It's really inspiring. It's really rich to consider ourselves, our living existence, as being islands in continuous, how can I say it, in a continuous process of remodeling ourselves, of being cut off, of being adrift in a vast domain without form, and then coming back into gaining form, coming back into connecting to the outside. So in a way, an island is the smallest version of the world. It's the smallest version of reality, or it's this version of reality which we actually realize, which we inhabit. So islands are not metaphors, because they are active and they're material. So they are actually realizations of how it is to be, in a way. And how is it to be? To be, it means to be yourself in this enclosed space, but also being in constant recalibration on this vast ocean of total change and total chaos, wave after wave, washing over you, pulling you, suggesting to become somebody new. So this means that you're both, or we all are, all beings are, islands folded back onto themselves, and on the other hand, folded out to others. And I loved when Hannah, when you used that beautiful phrase of this famous and much admired French mystic Simone Weil, and you said that every separation is a connection as well. So that's something very profound. And realizing islandness, be it on an island, or be it if we realize our islandness as organisms, as bodies, it means to realize this mystic insight, this profound insight, that every connection is a separation and every separation is a connection. So every connection is something which is constantly undone and recreated. And I mean, no wonder we like islands, because they actually they somehow align us with how it is to be. Isn't that beautiful? And I can add a lot to this idea from a biological viewpoint. And you already heard that I'm referring a lot to body, to embodiedness, to embodiment. And I am a biologist, and much of my thinking is inspired by taking a second look on what is happening between living beings, within living beings. So what is actually making life possible? And there, the amazing thing is that every organism is on this strict level of what is happening actually to the matter in an organism or outside an organism. We are just these islands who remake themselves all the time. So living beings are truly islands with a fluid connection to the remainder of the world. So we swim in reality, but not completely separated from it, but we swim in it because we through our pores, we suck up this total reality, the rest of reality, and build it into ourselves, model it into ourselves, transform it into ourselves. So this sounds very metaphysical, but I'm only talking about my my evergreen long run example of breath and eating. So just look at yourself as an island, as this beautiful island of your body, washed over by the sweet air and the sweet waters of this precious living planet. And when you're breathing this air, when you're breathing it in, you take something of it, namely oxygen, and build it into yourself, and you give something from you, namely CO2, carbon dioxide, and give it back to the air, which is then breathed by the trees, and they create their bodies from your body. That's the mystic biological center of living exchange. And it's also the way how islandness of the living, of life, expands and transforms into other islands, into a whole archi. I listened very well. I wanted to learn the pronunciation of this, archipelagos, I think it is. Archipelagos of living beings, which are separated, but then they are connected. Which is so, it's so irritating in a way. It's making one crazy if you have a Western mindset, but it is also so beautiful to understand that actually there is no separation, which is the last word. There's no separation which is not a connection. Isn't that beautiful? It's also frightening. So you can never say never, because there's still a connection.